Hello guys and welcome back. We have but a few days before the new DLC is about to come out, and there is a clear understanding on how the fans have perceived the future update so far. Especially compared to the first days where you could see negative comments in some degree, and as it looks, these comments weren't just few disappointed players, but a great number of fans. But until sales show the true results if something is successful or not, we can only rely on different platforms on the internet, such as the Age of Empires forums or Reddit posts, to get an idea on how well the DLC is perceived until now. For now, there is a clear displeasure about the update for various reasons. Usually in the Age of Empires history, the addition of new civilization and units is the number one desired aspect, at least for most players. But so far the game is not gaining any ground amongst the fans. Actually, it's quite the opposite. There is a huge backlash about the new update. The Three Kingdoms seems to be disliked by the majority of the fans, while a few weeks earlier we've got a cosmetic update of the game with new reskins of unique units and castles, which was mostly praised by the fanbase. So what did go wrong with the Three Kingdoms? There was a huge anticipation for the new DLC, especially since the announcement of not one but 5 completely new civilizations. It's the dream of any Age of Empires player. But people now seem really disappointed, and this is what we're going to look today, the reasons behind the frustration of the upcoming DLC. The main reason behind this isn't about altering the units or the balance and mechanics of the game. It has to do with historical accuracy, and that seems to be the most annoying thing by the fans. The Three Kingdoms are just kingdoms, and that seems to be the issue. They are not distinct from each other, and they are not distinct from the Chinese people. They were political entities in China, short-lived kingdoms, not different groups of people. It's like splitting the Byzantines to subcategories after the fall of the Crusaders, like the Despotatos of Epirus or the Empire of Nicaea, and representing them as different ethnicities. To make matters worse, these kingdoms didn't even last that long. Maybe the longest would be 50 to 60 years. And to think that there was already an argument about the existence of Hans in Age of Empires since their empire lasted for roughly 100 years, and now adding kingdoms and not civs that lasted half of that seems too problematic. Which leads us to the next reason that frustrates the fans, which is the time frame. Extending the timeline beyond 200 AD feels like a DLC that would mostly apply to the Chronicles rather than Age of Empires 2. And since medieval age is supposed to have started after the fall of Rome, these kingdoms seems to be completely out of place. There are some arguments that someone could make, such as the existence of Romans or Goths, but even those, they do fall into the medieval timeline, even for a small period of time. It seems to me that if the developers announced this update as a spin-off for the Chronicles, then most people would be fine with it, or even praise it. But there are even more aspects that people don't like. Another one is the new mechanics, and specifically the one of the new hero's abilities. The idea of a supporting unit has been in game since the addition of Romans and the buffing aura of the Centurion, but it didn't seem to break the balance of the game, being just a minor change itself. The problem with the new heroes, according to the fans, is not the buff itself, but how it will affect ranked games. Most people are worried that this new mechanic will alter the ranked games in a bad way. For example, the Sun Jian hero from the Wu that grants extra movement speed to nearby units. The unit itself has 1.55 speed without husbandry. Good luck trying to chase down this unit. On the other hand, I'm a bit more optimistic of how these hero units will work. I do also don't like the idea, but there was not a few times that I was against some additions in Age of Empires, but with time I started to get used to them and eventually liked them. Personally, I didn't even like the graphic change to the DE version. I preferred the older graphics. until I got used to them, and now I can't get enough of the styling and aesthetics of the DE and its expansions. What I'm trying to say is that time will tell what is going to happen about the hero units. Basically, these are the main reasons people don't like the new DLC. Of course, there are some parts that people like, but the overall view is negative. But let's also take a quick look at the positive aspects. The only thing that people actually might like is addition of new unique units, especially the rocket carts and other siege units like the traction trebuchet. They also seem to like the fire lancers too, although to me most of the new units look too cartoonish in a way. The fire lancer looks like a halberdier with fancier spear. The Iron Pagoda's horse looks too busy and like it has some kind of dragon helmet on the horse, like an anime character. Even the hero units look cartoonish and over-designed. Just put them side to side with more original designs and you get the idea. It seems to me that the developers are testing the waters how it will be perceived if the game drifts from its historical accuracy and solemnity and becomes more like a somehow fantasy game. It will all come down to how many sales it will make. But besides my personal taste, people seem to almost like the new unique units. And that's the only thing that players seem to have a semi-positive view about it. There is no other aspect that fans seem to like. Of course, there is a part of the community that likes the game overall, but it is the minority. Whatever has been said so far though are just speculations, and until sale numbers are known, we can't say if the new DLC will be a success or not. And to be true, not even sales themselves are a quality measure. Also, it is so observed that it happens at the same time that the new reskin update is so well received and the new DLC is so heavily criticized. I can only hope for a positive outcome from all of this. In few days we will have a much clearer idea of what is going to happen. That was for today. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. I will see you in the next video.